For more on the sanctions and the response, I'm joined by Greg Keeley. He's a former Navy commander and also managing partner at the company Dreadnought. Greg, let's talk strategy here. If these sanctions don't work and haven't worked in the past, why is the U.S. going that route instead of some sort of military action? You think that's the route the U.S. needs to go in?
No, Derek, look, I would disagree with the contention that the sanctions haven't worked. Back in 2015, when the Obama administration just threw out the sanctions, they were really starting to bite in Tehran. You saw protests in the street. Their economy was starting to really buckle under the pressure of those sanctions. These sanctions, despite the waivers that are in place, are much more impactful. This will really hit them where it counts, and that's in their transport, their finance, and obviously oil sectors. So I would disagree with the idea that sanctions don't work. Sanctions do work, but they need to be followed up and followed up hard.
Yeah, it's the follow-up, definitely. Well, Iran's president has called the sanctions an act of economic war, with Iran's oil, shipping, and banking industries taking a significant hit. What do you think will be the impact overall?
Well, I think this new wave of sanctions will have a significant impact on the Iranian economy, and it'll also have an impact on their domestic situation. You know, it's not widely reported, but there's protests all through Iran. There's starvation. There's a great deal of civil unrest. I think these sanctions, people don't talk about regime change anymore, but I'm convinced that these sanctions are designed to really combat the radical clerics that currently run Iran with human rights violations. They continue with their ballistic missile programs. I'm certain, and I'm sure many of the intelligence community still believe that they continue to develop nuclear weapons. I think these sanctions will have a dramatic effect on Iran.
You know, Greg, the president of Turkey has come out against the sanctions, really blasting them. Listen to what he had to say about them.
To be honest, we don't think these sanctions are right. We believe that these sanctions are steps aimed at unbalancing the world. These are against international law and diplomacy.
So, Greg, Erdogan is saying it's against international law, that this, could have a global unbalancing effect. I mean, what do you think?
Right. I think the United States had to take this unilateral action. I think what has happened in this vacuum that's been created is there's become this unholy trinity, if you like, between Russia, Turkey and Iran. We're hearing the words from Erdogan. On the other hand, we have Russia, who has been a backer of the Syrian regime, has been a backer of Iran, of the clerics in Iran, and by proxy, they're backing fundamentalist terrorism, Islamic terrorism around the world. We shouldn't be surprised by Russia. They've got a bad economy. Their economy's in bad shape. By doing this and supporting Iran, they're able to, if they do bust the sanctions, they'll reap significant benefits themselves as they're sort of fencing or selling stolen goods, as it were, for the Iranian regime. And the Russians really do need that foreign income coming into their coffers, which they'll get if they do sort of act as the middleman for the Iranians.
All right, that's former Navy Commander Greg Keeley. Thanks for your insight tonight on i24 News.